Hello there friends, CS News Live here. Today we've got OniPixels team qualifying for the RMR, Maniac tearing families apart, another scandal at the American RMRs, Aquarius getting unbanned on Twitch, and plenty of other juicy CS2 news. So without further ado, let's get straight to it. Obviously, first things first, we've gotta talk about OniPixels team, drillas, a team assembled just weeks before the Asian RMR Qualifiers. A team of friends led by the community's hero. They sensationally made it through to the RMRs. Congratulations, my drillas!
No amount of anything can salvage this game. This 1v4, the drillers are going to China.
Absolute domination on the second map of play. A lower bracket run to be remembered all the way from losing in the opening stage.
Honestly, it's so cool and so fun, and this is such a huge win for the German content creator and his fans also. This is something our community was waiting for a long time, because basically it's the people's team. And by the way, the funniest thing about all of this is that OniPixel is also the coach of my drillas. Can you imagine? It's just unbelievable. It's like living in a dream. And Oni will be heading to China with the team as well. By the way, Haji mentioned that the streamer promised all the players a 1-year contract with a $5,000 monthly salary if they make it to the major, meaning that they will need to complete the RMRs. That's some serious motivation for the squad, and we will definitely be keeping an eye on the intriguing development. Guys, don't forget to support the drillers in the comments below. Next, ESL has decided to align with Valve's decision on the Snap Tap controversy. Ahead of the 20th season of ESL Pro League, the tournament organizer officially banned the use of keyboards with such a function and any related configs. However, it's important to know that this ban currently applies only on LAN events. For now, Snap Tap is still allowed in online matches, but I think that might change soon. ESL is currently actively looking for ways to detect players using these features, and once they figure it out, playing with such a keyboard online will no longer be possible, which is cool to be honest. Now let's talk about some drama. In the American RMR Qualifiers, the final game for a spot at the LAN event in China saw Elevate face off against Boss. During a crucial round with a score of 14-15, a player from Boss has disconnected, and they immediately requested a round replay. However, Elevate wasn't on board with this decision, as one of their players had already taken damage, and according to Valve's rules, a replay isn't allowed in such cases. After 10 minutes of deliberation, the admin sided with Boss. Naturally, this didn't sit well with Elevate, and they started saying some things in the chat aimed at the admins. In the end, Elevate received a warning for their behavior, but it didn't change the outcome. Boss eventually won the game and secured their spot at the RMR China. And by the way, speaking of the RMRs, here's another update for you. All the closed qualifiers have wrapped up, and now we have the full list of teams attending China to compete for the major spots. There's honestly no point in listing all the teams since that would take quite a while, but in total there will be 56 teams, which you can see on your screen right now. But my friends, I can't wait to see which of those will make it to the major. I'm ready for the hype. If you remember, last time we told you about Aquarius getting banned on Twitch. In case you forgot, he was banned for allegedly cheating on stream, when in reality he was just showcasing bugs in the game. Well, 2 days later, the wrongful ban was lifted. So I guess justice has been served. Next, Skyesports just revealed their roadmap for 2025. In case you're not familiar, they're the same tournament organizer behind the recent controversial LAN event in India. To keep it brief, there were some issues during the group stage, but things ran much smoother at the arena. Now, Skyesports has announced 4 tournaments with a combined prize pool of $1.75 million. We'll definitely keep an eye on these events and cover them. Let's just hope they will avoid repeating the issues from the last LAN. And finally, for today's last piece of news, an intense drama has erupted between a CS skin maker and the talent known as Maniac. I think you know Maniac, right? On Twitter, the skin and sticker creator Arco Digital publicly addressed Maniac, and I was honestly stunned by what he revealed. According to Arco, the Swiss talent has been seeing his wife for a while now, claiming that she deserves better than what Arco could offer. All of this considering that Arco and his wife have 2 kids together. Arco tried to keep it quiet for a long time, but he couldn't hold it in any longer. He also mentioned that Maniac knew about her husband and kids, but still didn't back off from the affair. Honestly, I never expected hearing something like this in the Counter-Strike scene. If Arco's words are true, Maniac's behavior in this situation is absolutely disgraceful. And honestly, if Arco's wife was unhappy, why just don't get a divorce beforehand, before going out with other people? Anyways, I don't know, bros. Just be honest with your partners, and that's it. Wow, that was kinda intense. So now let's move on to the matches. Now let me fill you in what's been happening at the Bad Boom Dacha over the past few days. Last time we covered day 1, so let's pick up from day 2. The first match was Falcons versus Virtus.pro, and it turned out to be quite a tough game for VP. The boys barely woke up on their own map, but somehow miraculously managed to win it. However, they completely collapsed on their opponent's pick. By the middle of the game, the score was 10-2 in favor of Zonic's team. VP managed to grab a few rounds in the second half, but Falcons just evened up the map count. On the decider, Virtus.pro finally got into gear and started dominating, resulting in Zonic's team being the first to exit the Bad Boom Dacha. Next up, we had the second elimination match, Eternal Fire versus Heroic, and it was a walk in the park for Centaurus and his team. They just crushed it on Mirage, going 11-1 and eventually closing out the first map at 13-7. Then, on Anubis, Heroic finally started putting up a fight, but it wasn't enough as they felt just 3 rounds short of forcing a decider. It ended 2-0 in favor of Eternal Fire, and with that, Heroic joined Falcons, dropping from the Bad Boom Dacha. In the next game, Team Spirit faced off against Furia, and it was an absolute breeze for Donk and his team. They dominated Mirage with 13-4 and annihilated Furia on Anubis 13-1. It was as if the Brazilians, including Fallen, just couldn't find their rhythm, and their aim was completely off. And my friends, in typical Donk fashion, after the first round, he didn't hold back and straight up called Furia trash.
Фраги это чела, но и он тоже отдонканный.
So far, Team Spirit is undefeated at Bad Boom Dacha, and if they can keep up the pace, it would be their 3rd consecutive final of Bad Boom events. And the last match of day 2 was the battle between Pain and Mouz. With all due respect to the Brazilian squad, I expected Mouz to quickly take care of business and move on, but that wasn't the case. Mouz started off decently, leading 8-4 in the first half, but then Pain woke up and pushed the game into overtimes. There, they took control and won 16-12. However, it turned out to be just a brief lapse from Mouz as they regained their usual form on the remaining 2 maps, ultimately winning the series 2-1. Now, let's move on to recent matches. First up, we had Eternal Fire versus Furia. The match kicked off with the Turkish Dream Team's pick, and they honestly had no trouble securing the win. Furia managed to take just 6 rounds on the entire map, with nothing particularly impressive from their side. However, on Nuke, it was the Brazilians' turn to dominate. Fallen and his team completely dismantled their opponents, leading 10-2 in the first half. While Waxek and Calyx were struggling massively, just 4 kills for Waxek and 3 for Calyx. But on the decider, Eternal Fire came out on top. This time it was the Brazilians who faltered, with only Skulls managing to end with a positive KD. The final score on Mirage was 39, and with that, Furia drops from Bad Boom Dacha. Next up, Virtus.pro versus Pain. The match started on Mirage, the Bears pick, and it was a tight battle. Initially though, it didn't seem that way. VP took a commanding 7-1 lead by the end of the first half, but Pain started to fight back towards the end. After the side switch, the Brazilians teams riding their momentum managed to reach 10 rounds. But Jaime and his bros pulled themselves together and secured their map pick, 13-10. Now onto Pain's pick, Vertigo. And you know what, at first the Bears just fell into hibernation. They won just 3 rounds in the first half. But then I guess they just woke up and mounted a comeback on their T side, narrowing the score to 10-12. However, they couldn't push it to overtimes. With the series tied 1-1, it all came down to Dust 2, the decider. Neither team wanted to drop from the tournament easily and early, so both squads traded small streaks of rounds throughout the map, basically keeping the outcome uncertain until the very end. The first half ended 6-6, and the intense battle continued after the side switch. In the end though, Virtus.pro fell short, losing by just 2 rounds as Pain took the series 2-1. So Virtus.pro are out of Bad Boom Dacha, and Pain will face Eternal Fire. By the way, a quick note about Virtus.pro. A very famous Eastern European insider, Overdrive, said that Virtus.pro might see 2 changes by the end of the year. No information about who will go and who will join, but anyways, 2 out, 2 in. That's the rumors. And now to the last match of the day, Mouz versus Team Spirit. These two haven't met each other in 3 months, with their last meeting being exactly Bad Boom Dacha. So the match kicked off with Spirit's pick, Nuke, and honestly for them, things were looking grim. They were down 4-8 and the team's star player Donk just wasn't performing as usual with a KD of 7-11 after 12 rounds. So it was looking tough. However, after the side switched, Mouz seemed like a completely different team. They were unable to put up any resistance against the team they had just been dominating. So eventually, Nuke ended 13-9 in favor of Team Spirit. On Mirage, it was a back-and-forth battle. The half ended 6-6 and the second half mirrored it, leading to overtimes. Inevitable. And you know what? It seemed like the overtimes would go forever. I was waiting for like 25-27 or something like that. However, Mouz managed to edge out a win at 16-14, pushing the series to Ancient. And there, Spirit found their rhythm. They just shut down Mouz's attack with ease, leading to 9-3 at the first half. Only a historic comeback would save Mouz. And you know what? They started pretty well after the side switched. They won the pistol round and the follow-up, making a comeback possible. But unfortunately, the gap was too large. So Spirit won a series of 3 rounds and reached the match point. And they just closed it out in the end. Now, Mouz will face either Pain or Eternal Fire, while we congratulate Team Spirit on advancing to the Grand Finals. And that's all, my friends. Thank you for watching, sincerely. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And also comment with whatever you like. I'm not saying goodbye for a long time. See you soon.